Well, I just finished Outer Banks Season 3, and you know what? Outer Banks has a special place in my heart, primarily because, well, I watched the first season in the actual Outer Banks. Yes, there's actually a YouTube video of mine, I will link that, of my trip to the Outer Banks with a bunch of friends and I. So yeah, this show's got a pretty special place in my heart. But let's get right into it. Season 3 is, everything you weren't a huge fan of in season 2, I would say this is what season 3 is. Season 3 has moments, but unfortunately it has more moments where I'm like, okay, this is kind of whatever, than like, wow, this is really good. Obviously the first season's the best. I hope everyone can agree on that, right? Maybe. Second season, the first half of the second season is what I always tell people is the best. But yeah, I wasn't a huge fan of the season. I mean, like I said, there were moments I liked it, but there's what makes the season great is when everyone's together, and that wasn't what was happening a lot. Obviously, John B is off with his father, and they kind of go on their own little adventure, while the others go on their separate but like similar adventure, I guess you could call it. But yeah, so I wish the group was together more because I think that's when the group thrives. And this show has an issue of, well, here's a small treasure, now here's a bigger one, but guess what? There's a bigger one. And like, it makes sense, right? Sort of, for a show to do something like that, but unfortunately, it just gets a little old, I think, and a little stale. Um, I mean, all the characters are fun to watch. I mean, all the performances are great. You can definitely tell that there was something different about this season. But if you enjoyed the first two seasons, like, you know what? I enjoyed the first two seasons. I really did. I think for the most part you'll like this one. Like I said, there were parts I liked, and then there were parts I wasn't 100% too sure on. But let's get into some spoilers here real quick. So just know that some spoilers are coming up. Ward Cameron finally dies. Yeah, finally. And you know what? It's for a good reason. Because unfortunately, again, throughout the season, he does a lot of the same things. He thinks about what he's done, he's going to change, he doesn't change. He thinks about what he's done, he's going to change, doesn't change. He thinks about what he's done, and then he finally changes, and that leads to his death. Which was okay. I mean, I've always kind of liked the whole father-daughter thing he's had going on with his daughter. And another thing is, John B's dad is actually dead this time. I wasn't a huge fan of the whole reveal of him being alive. I liked it in the first couple episodes of them being together, and I just got kind of I got kind of bored with their adventure. But yeah, and then he dies. I saw that coming a mile away when he got shot. I'm like, first of all, there's no way a guy your age is gonna survive this, and plus you're going down into a cave. So yeah, but you know what? It was good. I guess it was a good death, you could say. The acting in that scene was pretty good, and yeah. And finally, let's get into that last episode. When the guy come up to him, I was like, oh, he's gonna present them with a new treasure, and I was like, oh, I wonder who it's gonna be. It's gonna be some great explorer, from what we learned in history class. And then he goes, it's Blackbeard, by the way. And I was like, oh my goodness, could this show possibly be any more Goonies than it already is? So yeah, I know I'm ratting on the show a lot, but you know what? If you like the first two seasons, you'll probably enjoy this one. Maybe a little less, maybe a little more. Me personally, I enjoyed it a little less than season 2. Season 1's always the best. And yeah, here's a little so yeah, that's it. The Outer Banks Season 3, or OBX3, whatever you want to call it. It's been renewed for Season 4. Maybe it'll be the last. Maybe it won't. Maybe we'll just have several seasons of them going on and finding different treasures. This next season should be a little more interesting because the stakes aren't as high, because they're no longer fugitives, in theory, right? So yeah, we will see. And if you haven't checked it out already, go check out my newest short horror film, Run, Rabbit, Run. Thank you for watching.